This week on Council Bluffs News, legendary race car drivers gather at Quaker Steak and Lube, reflecting back on an old dirt track that closed 14 years ago. And Miracle Survivor, a woman from Sioux City, Iowa, speaks in front of hundreds of people to tell her emotional story. That and more all in this week's Council Bluffs News.
Hello and welcome to this week's Council Bluffs News. I'm Marie Zeitner. What used to be known as the only place to be on a Sunday night, Sunset Speedway in Omaha, Nebraska, is now merely a memory. But for those who lived and breathed dirt track racing in the Metro before 2000, it is still so much more. 14 years after the legendary speedway closed, the Front Stretch Radio Show and ESPN AM 590 come together Wednesday, January 22nd to reminisce with drivers and fans at Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs. From farmland to a dirt oval surrounded by guardrail and grandstands.
Pretty soon they were having their first race on a Sunday afternoon back in 1957.
Since the start, it developed into one of the most well-known racetracks in southeast Nebraska and southwest Iowa.
It was just a fantastic place to race cars.
Generations of drivers, families, and fans agree, filling Quaker Steak and Lube with memories of the late speedway on January 22nd.
My mom used to have me on her lap with my 5 brothers and sisters, and when Dad would race, she would jump up and hurrah, and I would fall off the bleachers onto the ground. So, born and raised there.
Gail Russell's father, Bill Rick, speaks for the ESPN AM 590's Walk Down Sunset Lane, remembering times when he raced in the early years at the track.
It was a super place to be, super people, and I met a tremendous amount of good people. Yep. And I still enjoy it.
Joining Rick on the microphone, longtime dirt track racer Glenn Roby raced at Sunset Speedway the first day it opened in 1957.
I did good in the first days.
Roby started out well, winning the heat race that determines where a racer starts in the main event, and then going on to win the first night dirt flew at the Speedway.
Back in the early days, it was one class, and that was the modified coupes.
Sunset Speedway kept up with the changing times, adding multiple classes of cars in the 60s and 70s. The track took another turn when the Kelly family purchased it in 1976.
My parents bought the Speedway when I was 15 years old and we ran it till I was 40.
Former owner and promoter of Sunset Speedway, Craig Kelly, was known to be one of the toughest officials according to the drivers.
To his credit, ran a very tight ship and a ship that was very successful.
We called things very tight and we upset some people, but I like to think that we called it consistently across the field.
And while drivers won races, eager audiences filled the stands.
The fans made all the tradition of Sunset Speedway really by who they voted for and how they kept it up through the year. I mean, it was a great rivalry between everybody, and we'd all sit here and have a beer like we do now.
A night to remember and reflect on the time under the lights of Sunset Speedway.
Sunset Speedway had quite the run, but was short-lived by the growing city of Omaha. In 2000, nearby neighbors of new housing protested against the sound of roaring engines every Sunday night. Despite the track being in place for 43 years, it was forced to close due to the complaints. To learn more about the history of Sunset Speedway, you can check out the Facebook group I Miss Sunset Speedway - Irvington, Nebraska. Now for news around the Bluffs. Sponsored by Mr. Ed's Flagpole Company of Council Bluffs, right off Valley View Drive between Madison Avenue and Highway 92.
As of July 2013, the Council Bluffs Convention and Visitor Bureau is incorporated under Chapter 504 of the 2013 Code of Iowa as an independent nonprofit 501c6. The affairs of the company are to be managed by a 7-member board.
This is the latest from Interim Executive Director of the Council Bluffs Convention and Visitors Bureau, Kathy Fiskus, as she announces the CVB is becoming a separate board from the Council Bluffs Chamber of Commerce. The CVB staff worked with Bill Geist of Zeitgeist Consulting this past week to work on a strategic plan for the future.
The positive outlook for Council Bluffs, Potawatomi County, and the metro area was abundantly evident and exciting to know. As we go forward as the Convention and Visitors Bureau in the months ahead, we guarantee a lively way of showcasing the best of our community.
Fiskus says she wants to thank everyone involved in the process of making the transition possible. A humorous author makes a visit to the Council Bluffs Public Library. January 23rd, Joy Johnson speaks to a small group of bookworms about her series, The Boob Girls, the burned out old broads at Table 12. A tale of women living in a retirement home in Omaha, Nebraska.
It was a surprising success. I had no idea it would be so successful. So of course I wrote a second book, and then a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and now I'm working on a sixth.
Johnson wrote books on grief for much of her career. Her interest in writing fictional novels has sparked the new journey. Coming up on Council Bluffs News, meet a woman who overcame odds of nearly 330,000 to 1 to live and tell her story. But first, after the break, environmental educator Kelly Dix from the Hitchcock Nature Center joins us in studio to talk about a one-of-a-kind night hike. Stay tuned.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
At Council Bluffs Savings Bank, our goal is to help you, your families, and your businesses grow and prosper for generations. We take pride in our community, whether it's volunteering our time or helping individuals, families, and businesses succeed. We provide you with the personal service and attention you deserve. With over 220 years of banking experience, decisions are made locally. We are Council Bluffs people operating at Council Bluffs Bank to help Council Bluffs be a better place to work and live. Council Bluffs Savings Bank, hometown banking, the way it used to be. Member FDIC.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing. I'm trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.
What does the world have in store for you? year. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Welcome back to Council Bluffs News. I'm Marie Zeitner. Joining me in studio today is Kelly Dix of the Hitchcock Nature Center. Thank you for being here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Today we're going to be talking about a different kind of night hike. What is going on at Hitchcock?
We have our annual Owl Prowl hike coming up on February 7th, and so it's a great time. We get to come out, we'll start indoors, learn a little bit about owls, and then head outside and hopefully hear some or see some.
And what are the people going to be doing when they get outside into the forest?
Sure. Once we're outside, we stay together as a group, and we'll go out into the dark and stay as quiet as we can, hopefully. And then we play different owl calls and hope that the owls will respond and call back. Sometimes they'll even come closer to us to see what's going on, see what kind of owl is kind of in their territory, and we'll get to see them as well.
Is that something that's better to do in the wintertime?
We have our event every February, and we found that that's kind of a good time of year to get them to respond or to call back.
And you guys are actually using a different kind of call this year. Tell me about that.
This year we're going to try to use a smartphone app that actually has all of the different owl calls on it. So we're going to try that and see if they'll call back to those calls.
Do you know what kind of owls you expect to see?
We usually try the three most common that we have here in Iowa. So we try to call the screech owl, the barred owl, and the great horned owl. Those are the three that we try every year.
Okay, I've seen one great horned owl, but it was inside, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
And what makes an owl special or different from other raptors?
Owls are nocturnal, so they're out at night, which makes them so interesting. I think that's why people love this hike, is because we don't get to see them as often. And another neat thing about owls that makes them different than other raptors is the way their feathers are fringed on their wings. When they fly, they're almost silent because of that fringing, so that helps them capture prey at night.
They're very, very sneaky.
Yes.
And so when will this hike take place?
It's Friday, February 7th at 7 p.m.
And then how much does it cost to go?
It's $4 per person to attend.
And is it a family-friendly event?
Yes, yep, it sure is. We just try to be as quiet as we can once we're outside.
Okay. And are you guys going to be using like flashlights, or how are you going to see when you're out there?
Once we head outside, we usually give our eyes a few minutes to kind of adjust, and then we just stay in the darkness. But we can still see as we're hiking once our eyes adjust.
Okay. And it is weather permitting. So there's a way that people can be informed if it's canceled or not?
Sure. We have our website, which is potcoconservation.com, or the Hitchcock Nature Center Facebook page too would have any updates about the event.
Okay. But it's February 7th at 7 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. And where should people meet for this?
We meet at the Les Hills Lodge, because we'll start with a brief indoor introduction to owls before we head outside.
All right. Anything else about this event that you'd like the people to know, or that haven't gone to this event before?
It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite events that we have every year. I love owls, so just the chance to see them or hear them is always a great opportunity.
All right. Kelly Dix from the Hitchcock Nature Center, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Time now for Pets of the Week. Sponsored by Mad Cow Paintball of Louisville, Nebraska.
Hi, my name is Misty Bino, and I'm a volunteer with Solus, support our local animal shelter. This is Bella. Bella is a Chihuahua mix. She's brown brindle, about a year old. She was surrendered here. Her owners could no longer care for her. She is extremely friendly dog. So if you are interested in adopting Bella, her file number is 2865. This big guy is Ozzy. Ozzy is a lab mix, about 2 years old. He was adopted out here in 2012 as a young pup, and the previous owners had to move, so they could no longer keep him. He's a really sweet boy, Very energetic still for a 2-year-old. They said he's been very spoiled. He likes to sleep in bed with you, and he loves treats. If you are interested in adopting Ozzy, his file number is 2838. This is Daffy Duck. He is a domestic short-haired black cat between 3 and 4 years old. He is a very big lover and has a big purring motor. If you are interested in adopting Daffy Duck, his file number is 2842. This is Whitey. She's about 10 weeks old. She's a domestic short-hair white kitty with a little smudge of gray on the top there. She was surrendered here. The owners had a litter and she was one that they couldn't find a home for. So if you are interested in adopting this cute little kitty, her file number is 2846. And if you are interested in any of the animals that you've seen today, you can come down to the Council Bluffs Animal Shelter at 2821 South 15th Street here in Council Bluffs.
Still to come on Council Bluffs News, the inspiring story of survival from a Western Iowa woman, plus our weekly events calendar. We'll be right back.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And shelter pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Jack Frost, you do have beautiful teeth.
My what?
Are they really as white as they say? Yes. Oh, they really do sparkle like freshly fallen snow. This is an excellent example of what teeth should look like. Check out the iridescence of that incisor, the beauty of that bicuspid, the magnificence of those molars. And the best way to achieve such terrific teeth is brushing. 2 minutes, twice a day. Not 30 seconds, not a minute 45. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. They're beautiful.
We're getting job experience just learning about it.
They help you realize what's going to be like out there.
If you want to be able to have some fun and be able to turn your idea into a great idea, come to the Culinary Arts program.
Inviting you to join us to learn about cooking and about food. You'll make soups and sauces, you'll produce cold food, and you'll even get to work in the bakery. And eventually, you'll learn management skills. We have several different programs at our disposal, and you can take any one of them. So please, join us at Iowa Western Community College.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course. This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water, and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
When a late-term abortionist became interested in opening a shop in Council Bluffs a few years ago, the community stepped up in protest. Now they've come together again for a benefit dinner to honor a woman who survived an abortion attempt. Melissa Oden speaks for life and tells her emotional story at the Queen of Apostles Hall Friday, January 24th. This isn't a story about abortion, but rather of a woman who overcame the odds of nearly 330,000 to 1 in order to live a normal life.
What can already be tough on a child,
I'm adopted, grew up knowing that,
became even harder to handle for Melissa Oden.
And I was 14 years old when I found out.
Born on August 29, 1977, Oden didn't know she was not supposed to be.
I survived my own biological mother's forced abortion in Sioux City, Iowa.
Oden's grandmother made the decision for her daughter's baby to be aborted when she was believed to be less than 5 months pregnant.
She was 19 years old and a college student, pregnant with me.
The details are graphic. Oden's mother went through a saline infusion abortion for 5 days, only to give birth to a living baby.
Many loving nurses came to her aid, rescued her, kept her safe.
But by looking at Oden's medical records, doctors noted she looked to be about 31 weeks gestational age.
I think in my case, God hid the truth about my life somewhat from those around me because it enabled me to survive.
Oden's adoptive parents never intended for her to know about the abortion attempt.
They were, like any good parent, afraid of what it was going to do to me.
But their fears came true.
I was devastated to find out about the abortion that I survived. And, I spent years of my life feeling ashamed, feeling guilty for surviving, for not only surviving, but being perfectly healthy no matter what the doctors said about what my life was going to be like.
Doctors at St. Luke's Hospital in Sioux City, Iowa, where Oden was born, initially said she would not live past infancy, and if she did, she would have multiple defects, like becoming deaf or having mental or physical disabilities.
You know what? Out of that pain and difficulty came purpose.
At the age of 19, the same age as her biological mother was at the time of the abortion attempt, Oden knew she wanted to do something to help people.
I have a career in social work. I have a master's in social work.
She came forward publicly as a survivor in 2007.
I knew this was my calling. I didn't intend to make it my career.
Oden now travels the nation and Canada, telling the story of her mother's forced abortion and of her own survival.
I wanted to make the world a better place for women like her, but now I absolutely understand why I do this, because no woman should have to go through what she did, and certainly no child should have to experience what I did.
According to statistics, Melissa Oden has found 64% of women are forced to have an abortion. Through her travels, she has met 170 other abortion attempt survivors. Time now for our weekly events calendar. The first legislative coffee of 2014 is Saturday, February 1st. Every 2 weeks through April 12th, area lawmakers in the Iowa legislature will discuss the latest happenings and answer questions from the audience. The coffees take place at Wilson Middle School in the auditorium located at 715 North 21st Street at 9 a.m. United Methodist Church is hosting a benefit for the Care and Share House Thursday, January 30th at 6 p.m. The fundraiser will have a silent auction, appetizers, and a meal. The food served is comparable to the food provided at the pantries. United Methodist Church is located at 1st Street and Broadway. The Mid-America Center is bringing back rough action skating with the Omaha Roller Girls. You can catch their first match this Saturday in the arena at 7 p.m. against the St. Chuck's Derby Girls. General admission is $10. You can get a season pass through June 7th for $38. Day of show tickets cost $12. Children 10 and under get in free. Thanks for watching this week's Council Bluffs News. If you have any questions, comments, or story ideas, You can email us at cbtv@iwcc.edu, pick up the phone and call 712-325-3312, or send us a message on Facebook. You can find us at facebook.com/cbtv17. For your Council Bluffs News, I'm Marie Zeitner. See you next week.